Hello. Happy Sunday. Happy Easter, I guess. Yeah, I don't really celebrate anything anymore, so it's all kind of a jumble to me. I'm going to finish washing up my greens that I got from the farmer's market. I did not go haywire with 4 bunches of greens. I just got 2. They were not on sale, so my little discount mania was contained today. I did not even finish the greens that I bought last week. I tried my damnedest, and 4 bunches is just way too much for one person to get through in a single week, considering how much other stuff I eat. But I'm very excited. I got accidentally arugula, very peppery, very spicy, very delicious. I actually thought I was getting something else, uh, but it turns out this is arugula, and it's very peppery. And I actually haven't had arugula like this since I left the farm that I volunteered on for a year or rather a summer, um, between junior and senior year of college, and it brings back good memories. I remember at the time I ate fresh arugula, and I was like, this is how spicy arugula is supposed to be, and I could not believe. But now, almost a decade and a half later, I have learned the beauty of bitter, spicy greens. So here we are in our mid-30s, just eating leaves like bunnies. So I'm going to put these away, and we're gonna cook something that I can eat the greens with for the rest of the week. Um, and then I have some brown rice soaking here, and I have some red lentil soaking here. And I was thinking we could cook them, but I was also thinking I could try to make like a recipe-less dosa batter, because I've been really getting into the groove of making grandma fresh crepes every day, and I almost feel like maybe I should make like a crepe-like thing for myself. So that's what we're gonna do first. Grandma, not gonna lie, is a bit of a struggle this week. I don't really know what's going on, but she's been complaining about her toenails for a long time. I think somebody actually did come and clip them for her, but like she wasn't satisfied. I brought my toenail clippers for her today, and she was like asking me for full-on scissors, and I was like, I cannot give you scissors to trim your toenails with. And she was like, look, I can't get underneath the nail, and her nail is like so calcified, it's so thick, and it's like kind of merging with her skin. Guys, getting old is like rough, okay? Getting old is rough. I don't know how to make her feel better. I don't really know what to do for her anymore, and like every little physical discomfort sets her off extremely now. I think every time she realizes how bad of a shape her body is in compared to what she thinks she should be in, it like triggers her anxiety. And so once she couldn't really get her toenails trimmed to satisfaction, she started like hyperventilating, and I started trying to make her feel better by putting clothes on her to take her out for a walk, because it was Sunday and it's the farmer's market. I normally would take a walk, but she like got most of her clothes on, and then she could not stop hyperventilating, and she was like, I don't want to go, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. So I took her clothes off, and I try to do some breathing exercises with her. At this point, I'm every day more and more at a loss for words. I just kind of like process it how I can, and that's it. Like, I feel absolutely day by day more and more useless, and I'm afraid that's all I can do for the most part, is just witness this go down. So at least I have my aunt and uncle with me on these calls, so I don't have to be the only one witnessing her. But yeah, it's rough. It's rough. I'm gonna save some greens that are looking a little bit translucent and yellow so that we eat these first. Grandma doesn't really, Chinese people don't hug. So I try to hug her sometimes, but she kind of just like, she does what I used to do in college, which is she just stays there while I hug her. I've just been thinking like, hey, I have to just keep reminding myself that this is an opportunity that a lot of my friends, my peers don't have right now, is getting a front row seat to watching aging go down like this. It's really not pleasant, but I'd like to be in the mindset of I'm grateful that I have an opportunity to learn, to witness, to observe, because right now I don't know what else, I don't know how else to process all of this, you know, so that's the best I can do. So for the dosa batter, we're just going to take a little bit of our soaked brown rice and a little bit of our soaked lentil, and oh, you know what? I didn't defrost my chicken broth. Yeah. Whoopsies. Should have done that first, shouldn't I have? I've been very forgetful these days. We're going to clean this up a little bit first. Ooh. You had a customer response with the Tasty people, but I never worked at Tasty. I worked at Delish. They're different companies. Forever indebted to me. Oh shucks. Thank you, but I cannot take the credit. But I am glad that I added a little bit of fun to your life. A mush dish that me and Grandma will like, pastina, I can assure you that Grandma won't like it. She's gonna think I'm giving her leftovers like the facility is. Anything that she does not recognize that is shapeless, she thinks it's leftovers. But thank you. I think I would like it for sure. I'm going to take my zinc and I'm going to take my vitamins. And this is a reminder for you to do that too, if you want to. So many people out of touch. Fred is not with me anymore. He's with Aaron. They're fine. Can anybody tell me why they give a huge bottle of vitamins and only fill up to a quarter of the way? This is a new bottle that I just opened. I don't understand. It's a waste of space. Tuna is on my bed napping. We can go say hi later. I don't want to bother her too much. All right. So the first thing that I want to do for the dosa batter is to melt some butter and toast some fenugreek. You're supposed to soak the fenugreek seeds, but I did not do that because I did not prepare for anything. But we do have some ground fenugreek. If I can find it. I thought I had it. Bear with me. Okay, we're gonna do a lot more spices than just fenugreek. So I've only made dosa once, or actually attempted dosa once, and that was on Budget Eats. I have not done it since then, and I am not following a recipe. Should I? Probably. Am I doing this right? Not at all. You're supposed to be soaking the grains overnight, and then fermenting the batter as well. We're not doing any of that, so none of this is right, which is fine, because we're here to experiment. Right, guys? Right? No, that's not gonna give me what I want. Yeah, smoke and herb is really good. For some reason, it's not a huge seller. It's so underrated, honestly. I don't know what's happening with that spice, but definitely a sleeper hit, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna do about equal parts of lentil and rice. Yeah, it's definitely a play on weed culture, but there is unfortunately no weed in it. Alright, I think we're gonna add some water. Let me see if we have more interesting liquids to add in here. Probs not. But just in case. Just in case. Ooh! Okay, maybe we add a little miso. A little miso in here. Is that enough? Maybe a little more. Maybe a little more. Guys, I went into a very, very, very bougie weed store yesterday, and they ended up charging me for credit card fees, which wasn't even explicitly stated, so that pissed me off. And I probably ended up paying for way more than I needed to for an eighth, but I got myself some fancy packaged weed. We'll see how it smokes. It's indica. Hopefully it puts me to sleep. Sativa used to be my favorite, but my brain has been going haywire with the anxiety lately on sativa, so not doing that anymore. I'm gonna go in, let's toast all of our spices actually. Turn the heat down a little bit. Okay. Some white pepper. A little bit of nigella seed. A little bit of cumin. Swish that around. We're gonna add in some purple shallot, some ground fenugreek, the star ingredient here. Fenugreek needs to be bloomed in oil a little bit. Otherwise, its flavor doesn't really come out. I'm going to turn the heat off on this because it's starting to smoke. Then I'm going to add in some ground coriander. Smells good. I'm going to add in a little bit more fenugreek. And then a little bit of turmeric is going straight into the blender. I don't really want to bloom that. Some of the spices clumped a little bit, so I'm going to turn the heat back on. And then we'll just let those clumps get mashed down. So we have even toasting going on. Heat's off. Smelling the spices. They smell good. I'm gonna come on over here. Alright, now we're just going to add some water. I don't really know how much, so that much to start with. Alright, get ready for noise. Smells funky. Smells really funky. Let's see where we can pour it into for storage. What's the best one? Maybe a jar. So technically you're supposed to let this sit and ferment. How have I dealt with body image issues lately? It was a little bit rougher when I really got smacked with long COVID symptoms. Because I was emotionally, psychologically, physically burning out from like trying to show up to very poorly organized pro-Palestine actions, and I felt really, really, really enervated. Zero energy at all. And I've stopped going to the gym, which used to be a daily facet of my life, and I can't do that anymore. And I don't want to do that anymore. I don't really want to be in a place where people are unmasked and sweaty and breathing, so I've canceled my gym memberships. And I've just gotten a couple of light dumbbells and kettlebells so that I can work out at home. And I'm trying to lean more into stretching now. I have always had pretty bad joint issues, so I'm looking at this as an opportunity to kind of focus my exercise in a gentler way that my body can tolerate. I can't really do what I used to be able to do anymore. I used to be able to take 3-4 hour walks, and now if I take a 2-hour walk, I'm tired for 2 days after, and my body's just going through a lot of adjusting. I can assure you that I just fed her at like 4:30, so she's just really sweet, and she knows she's really sweet, so she'll be here. I like yoga sometimes. It's way more easy to be motivated in terms of doing yoga if I'm doing it with other people, but currently I just prefer to like put on a show and then do some light weights as I watch the show and do some stretching. So even now I'm tired. The last 6 months has been such a weird time, honestly. I don't even know what we should be thinking of it. So, what we have in here, I'm just gonna let it sit. I'm gonna scrape down the sides a little bit, and I'm gonna let it sit. And maybe by the end of this live, we can try to cook it. But I'm just gonna try to give the grains a little time to hydrate with the liquid that was just added. I still remember during the beginning of the pandemic, they were like, oh, kids don't get affected. My cousin's child, I guess my like niece of sorts, keeps getting sick from daycare. I feel like everyone's immune system is like so much weaker across the board. Even friends who used to be like very proud of their imperviousness to disease are now just like very easily tired or down with the flu or a cold or something. So, something's happening. If you don't feel it now, you will feel it eventually, I think. And I say that to remind us all that you're not special. But you might have a bit of an advantage compared to others. I got my septum pierced last Friday. let's see. One of these pans is gonna be lentils. One of them is gonna be rice. I'm gonna make this one rice. I don't know why, but it just will be. It's a very small amount of rice, I know. It seems silly. Well, like I said, I rarely calculate shit. I do want to add a little bit of oil to this so I can bloom some spices into the rice. Such as some coriander, such as purple shallot, such as porcelain garlic, such as cumin, such as turmeric, and we'll just go ahead and swishy swish. And turmeric has an antioxidant called curcumin, and it is more bioactive, meaning your body can actually absorb the nutrients when you pair it with black pepper, which has an antioxidant called pepperin. So if you're looking to get maximum health bang for your buck, eat your turmeric and your black pepper together. Now I'm feeling very bad that this rice is going to have just so little rice in it. So let me see what else we can put in here to make it seem like I'm not heating up a whole pan with olive oil and spices for like a half cup of rice, which seems rather silly right now. So my piercing artist told me to prepare for my eyes to tear up from the pain. He even handed me a tissue. And I think they did a little bit, but not enough for me to need to dab my eyes. So it wasn't that painful, actually. Maybe I'm just really used to pain. This is brown rice I've had since before I got fired from Delish, by the way. It's like vintage rice. Okay. We're gonna toast the rice grains while I look for stuff to put in here. Let's do some corn. Yeah, you know, I do need more tats, but you know what I also need? Like money to get the tats. That's costs money, y'all. And I'm not trying to be that frivolous with my funds right now, you know? A little, yes. But I think we should not exceed like 3 tattoo piercing expenditures a year. I can justify it for like a Christmas present for myself. I can justify it for like a birthday present for myself. And I can justify it for like a little treat yourself thing, but I feel like beyond that, I might be doing too much. There's more corn than rice in here now. Let's also go in with a little bit of smoked paprika. As well as hot paprika. Yeah, I'm not gonna tattoo myself. I don't have that kind of time or desire, to be honest with you. Also go in with a little bit of frozen peas. Alright, let's go in with a little bit of sorghum because I bought this and my uncle was telling me how my grains should not be that old, and I was like, yeah, they are that old. So we're going to add in a little bit of sorghum to balance out the grains in here. Mix that all in there. That looks good. Smells pretty good too. Alright, now it's time. I'll go in with a little bit of our melted chicken stock. Whatever's melted will go in first. Turn up the heat a little bit. Then I'm gonna cover it. Just cover it with water. Okay. And then I have some of this ham hock from last time. If I could get it out of this jar that I put it into, you could add it. swap it with this burner, and we're gonna start on our lentils. Lentils are gonna get the remaining butter. What spices? Probably a lot of the same spices, honestly. Fenugreek is good. Coriander is good. White pepper is good. Nigella seed is good. Smoked paprika, oh so good. Cumin, fantastic. Turmeric, yep. A little bit of garlic. A little bit of onion. Spices are burning. That's great. I was being sarcastic. That's not great. Don't burn your spices. Don't be that guy. You too can have this many spices. You might not even need to have all of these spices to feel less white. You might just need like 10 of them. You can be less white today if you want. It's an attainable goal. Alright, I'm gonna microwave this broth a little bit because I poorly calculated my timing. I'm just gonna hold it over the heat until it melts. This is what I get for poorly planning. At what point in life did you know you wanted to work in some type of cooking related work? After I had tried out education and social work. Food was my last path that I wanted to explore a little bit. And because restaurants are so many in New York, it was very easy to find low-paying entry jobs. I'm the most present chef? Wow. I don't think that is true because I have witnessed so many chefs do their thing, but I don't think they narrate themselves the way that I do. The way that I got used to during the pandemic shooting budget eats, for sure. But this is something that I learned in one of my first restaurant jobs, is a chef telling me that cooking is all about using all of your senses to cook. So you're not just looking at the time of the recipe, but you're also, smelling the food, hearing the food. As the food gets cooked, the sounds that they make change, the colors that they turn into change, the textures change. And so the reason why I love cooking without recipes is I kind of just get to observe, almost, what's happening. Not to say that I've mastered anything at all, but the observation is for sure one of the funnest parts for me. But thank you, if you meant that as a compliment. I appreciate the kind words. The default Chinese in me must shoot down all compliments. And then the American part of me is like, you ingrate. Accept the compliment. And then the Chinese part is cringing while I do that. So you'll have to excuse my bicultural brain. It's a struggle. It's a real struggle sometimes. I'm going to add some tap water straight into the chicken stock, and this will help it melt faster, since I'm already seeing that we're gonna need more liquid than exists in this chicken stock jar. So I'm currently cooking this lentil risotto, purely because I did not plan out melting my chicken stock. Which is fun, y'all. The spices are coming alive with each addition of the liquid. Fascinating stuff. Now I added miso to our batter, but I have not added a salt component to the lentils yet. So I'm gonna think about this. Think about what I want in here. Guys, I really have to pee. So I'm gonna give myself 3 minutes of pee holding, and then we're gonna turn this heat down low, and I'm gonna go pee. And then I'm gonna think about what salts we're gonna add in here. You didn't need to know any of that. I just feel awkward not saying stuff. The way that I narrate myself on these lives now feels so natural that I feel like I tire people out in my real life. Guys, this is the impact that the internet has had on my personal life. I interact with real life people the way I interact with the internet. Sometimes that shit just doesn't work. you know? Yeah, call me weird and boring. Also tell me to shut up. Or like, whatever you would say to a person in real life when they're talking this much. Maybe just nothing, because everyone is too nice and polite to tell people to shut up. And that's how we end up with misunderstandings and people hating each other. Alright. It's time to pee. I'm gonna add in some hot paprika as well. Have we thought about what salt we would like? A smoky salt. Black salt? I actually haven't opened this one yet. Let's open it together. I've had it for over a year now. I have black salt, but this is the Burlap and Barrel black salt. Kiln-fired salt, black salt, commonly called kala namak, is a classic ingredient in many South Asian dishes. Used in the practice of Ayurveda. Salt is mined in the Himalayas, then fired in a kiln at extremely high temperatures, hot enough to melt the salt and give it a scorched black color. The heat also changes the chemical composition, bringing out its beloved and infamous savory, tart, and eggy aroma and flavor. Use it instead of table salt in any dish to add depth and complexity. Thanks, Gary. Mm-hmm. I have 2 eggs. I want to eat them both, but we'll see. I think this one needs a little more water. Unfortunately, miscalculated how much liquid is required. I think the sorghum is not happy in there. Probably should have left more room in this jar for expansion. Something's gonna happen and it's not gonna be pretty. Today is March 31st. And tomorrow will be April Fool's, y'all. Almost just set my kitchen on fire by burning up a paper towel, trying to get the liquid that steamed through the lid. Always a fun time in my kitchen. None of the food is ready. I also just found a loose screw on my windowsill, and I have no idea what it popped out of, and now I'm terrified that something's falling apart. But in the meantime, let's drink my smoothie. This smoothie has turmeric golden milk chai base with extra cinnamon, extra ginger, and a little bit of black pepper. And it has the stems of the greens that I just washed, and it has horchata protein powder, and it has a cup and a half of milk, and it has a frozen banana in it. It's a really weird one, for sure. Oh, and it has oats and cashews and chia seed. Okay, I'm actually gonna shift the two. Actually, you know what? I'm not. Not worth it. You can just watch them cooking now. Okay. Eliza, hello. This is a really weird color. It's like Dijon mustard almost. But like slightly toxic slime green. I feel like all holidays are the worst for food workers. All right, let's go bother Tuna, shall we? Can you tell me in 3 minutes to come back? Because I don't want shit to burn. Tuna, we've come to visit you. It smells like curry in here. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Do you want your basketball? Basketball? You want your mouse? How about this one? 2 mice? All of my muscles are disappearing. I'm so sad. My body is turning soft like pudding. She just went back to sleep with the mice tucked underneath her chin. She is truly an angel. She's the most angel cat. But it makes me want to bother her sometimes, you know, Tuna? Oh. Sweet girly. Sweet girly. Fred is an asshole to me. I don't think I would have gotten COVID the first time had it not been for Fred meowing all night for 11 days straight. I think he really wrecked my immune system when he did not calm down in my apartment. No Easter plans, just hanging with Tuna and making food and drinking my Vom smoothie. Considering that she's kind of like always sleeping except for the 2 bursts of 18-minute activity every day, I have to bother her sometime if I want some love. Actually, this morning, she came to snuggle with me in bed when she realized that I was awake but just loafing away on my phone. My favorite thing that Tuna does is when she yawns, her 2 ears get pinned back because she opens her jaw so wide. The ears just like, she's like a facelift yawner. Thank you, timer. I'm just cat sitting. She's not mine. She's my friend Devin's. He's traveling right now. Perfect timer. It's thickened but not burnt. Thank you all. Thank you all for cooking. Yes. He also loves her. He says she wins Best Cat Ever award. And I kind of feel inclined to agree. She's given me no trouble at all except for vomiting 3 times in one day. She kind of snarfed her food and I think I gave her a little too much. But other than that, it's been pretty great. So I think what I'm going to do is put most of this lentil in a jar for eating throughout the week. And then I'm going to fold in those greens that weren't looking so hot from earlier processing. And then we can have ourselves a little lentil snack. And I actually think I should get that dosa mixture out of the Vitamix so that it doesn't get caked on and harder to clean. She realizes this like an hour into the live. As it goes. What I think I'm going to do is actually blitz some water into this Vitamix to clean it and then dump the water into our lentil so that it just gets cooked. Zero waste. And I think for the most part they are not very conflicting flavors either. Oh my gosh, Fred is such a sativa. You're absolutely right. Yes, we are down to the last quarter, I feel like, because there's more volume up here where it's wider. I have drunken a lot of Saint Germain in the past month. What's on my socks? Like Christmas stuff? like snowflakes, I think, and Christmas trees. I would like to play the saxophone. I don't know why. I just feel like it's such a fun little instrument that is incredibly hard to carry around, and probably really hard to play, and is relegated to mostly solos for cathartic effect. Sounds great. Here's how the sorghum is doing. It's whistling like a wind tunnel. I don't think the sorghum is getting cooked, so that's rather troublesome. I would also be perfectly happy if I could learn the ukulele. I feel like that one's easy to carry, super portable, super happy. Even if you just pluck a few notes on it, that's one of those instruments that make you like instantaneously happy. We ready for bolding? I don't think the rice is done. I think the sorghum might still be raw. That's my oopsies. It's really my oopsies. Let's add a little more water to the sorghum. Okay. Bowl time. We're gonna breathe all the tension in your shoulders straight in. And when the bowl goes, we're gonna breathe it out and we're gonna send it down through our arms, through our fingertips, and we're just gonna let it emanate outwards. And we're gonna feel the heat go through our fingertips and just carry it away like smoke. I want to try a different spoon. What if we learn how to play bowls? Tuna has been stalking us from the corner. Tuna baby, do you want to come over? Do you want to come over? She's not sure. Let me show you these treats that she absolutely goes nuts for. Are you ready? She goes nuts. They look like little stars. That's it. She's prone to throwing up, so we can't do any more. Sorry. All right, I think our lentils are pretty much ready. So I'm gonna turn off the heat in about 2 minutes. And then I'm gonna try to give a tuna a very big lift hug so you guys can see her up close, being real cute. And then maybe I can give her some dinner. Tunesies. Do you want to be hugged by me? Hi, baby. You good? You got your little claw stuck? Wow. Let's get you some treats. I almost dropped her. Poor girl. So much abuse goes on in this household. Here's our other favorite treat. Remember this? Tuna, come here. You want a treat? It's salmon. She doesn't recognize. Let's shake this. She's purring so loud right now. All right, we'll save some for dinner. But yes, she does like her treats a lot. Yes, Easter lilies are very toxic to cats. That much I know. Yeah, I love my dishwashing dishwashing soap. It's from Trader Joe's actually. It's really good. It doesn't have a lot of fragrance to it, just very lightly scented. It's runny but not watery. It doesn't like slough off in a gloop. It's not super concentrated like Mrs. Meyer's either. Gets rid of grease very well. The whole thing about Trader Joe's is I feel guilty every time I go there now because they're trying to like destroy the NLRB alongside like Tesla and other companies like that. NLRB is National Labor Board of Relations. Basically the institution within the government that kind of keeps businesses accountable to labor rights. So because their workers are unionizing, they've all teamed up to try to gang up on the NLRB and try to like strike it down as an institution. So that's what's going on with Trader Joe's. I still have the urge to go. It used to be one very fun place for me, and now it's just filled with so much sadness every time I feel the urge to go. Trader Joe's too. Yep. It's very sad. It's very devastating. I hate it. Alright then. Let's put our lentil soup away and cook some greens. Do we think this is gonna fit in here? I think it'll mostly fit in here. I know, right guys? Like even Trader Joe's. Even Trader Joe's. This is gonna take forever. I am stubborn today though. So let's see how long forever takes. It's now 6:29. I'm gonna guess by 6:33, I'll have gotten most of it into the jar. I could be done with this in 40 seconds. Got tired of it, sorry. Perfect. Yes, that is exactly how much I want it left in there. Just enough to coat our greens. Bye, have a good night. Very quick. Just wanted to wilt them. And now we're waiting for our sorghum to cook. It's looking good. It's looking promising. Let's prod it a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to try to get a few grains of sorghum out. We're going to see if they're cooked. By the way they dropped, and they don't sound cooked. Oh yeah, still kind of tough. For sure. But not raw. Just a little under. What I do want to do is break this ham hock up a little bit. Get that meat in there. Flavor it up. Alright, I don't think I'm going to cook the dosa today because I want to let it ferment and I have more than enough food to eat here. So I'm just going to go ahead and label them for now. And I'm going to let them sit on the counter and see if they get fermented overnight. Sorghum is a grain. Yeah, it's not as bouncy as farro is. There's corn and peas and brown rice and lots of spices and a little bit of chicken stock. So you see the little red bulbous quinoa looking things there? That's sorghum. I wanted to ask you guys, glass pot is in my cupboard, I'm just not using it as much. I wanted to ask you guys what you think is the hardest part of a breakup for you. Obviously, everyone's answer is going to be a little bit different. I'm just very curious what you feel like is the most difficult part of a breakup. Feeling like you failed. Interesting. Yes, I have been going through quite a bit of that myself. I don't know what they're saying outside on the megaphone. I think it's Easter related. When the happy memory outweighs the good ones? That sounds like the same. The hardest part is figuring out who I am without the person. I feel like people change us, and in a relationship we get changed by our partner. So to have that person leave makes me question me. Fascinating. When you know it was the right thing to do, but you still miss them. Here, here. Lost potential. I agree with many, many, many of these. Yeah, really, I've decided that, or rather I've learned that a lot of things just take time and can't rush anything. No matter how fast you want to get it over with. It's also been really hard for me to decide when to take conventional wisdom and when to not, you know? Because I do feel like relationships are so personal. And I think oftentimes conventional wisdom can actually lead us astray. But it is easier to just follow conventional wisdom because you feel like, well, other people are doing it, so they can't all be wrong, right? They can't all be wrong. That's the plot twist. But they're not like wrong, they're just wrong for you. What they chose to do for themselves might not be what you need to do for yourself. And I think about this too in light of my mom trying to prevent all of my mistakes from happening. You just can't sometimes. You gotta make your own mistakes. Alright, I think our liquids are finally running dry here. Maybe. Maybe not. There's actually still quite a bit of liquid. I think I did something by mixing up the pot a little bit. So we'll give it 5 more minutes. All right, I'm gonna sit down because I'm an old lady now. And I'm gonna see what you're saying to me on the screen. I don't know the South Korean 4B movement. I have no idea what that is. You guys are trolling the troll. I love it. I mean, listen. I'm always in the mood to flirt for the most part, unless I'm severely depressed. But the banter has to be good to interest me. I do have, unfortunately, high standards, which is why it's really hard for me to feel happiness in life. But that is why I've made myself not have to depend on happiness to find contentment. Korean toast for breakfast. Is it bad? I find falling out with people we get romantically interested harder to deal with than an actual breakup. Oh, like a crush? Interesting. Hi Ashley. I'm so glad you're cooking again and that you're finding joy in it. Oh guys, I got salompas. I just don't know if I should overuse it. But yes, I bought some because I really liked Mom's expired patches and how they healed my back. So yes, it's in my closet if I should need it. Thank you for making mush in my honor. What's in your mush, Kate? You never did get to preach that sermon where you mentioned me. That's okay. Jesus heard it. That's all that counts. Salvation will come for us all one day, I hope. So I heard that Metamucil's not like good for you. Is that true? I'm still trying to get my fiber in like naturally, you know? One of my mom's friends called me yesterday. Her son is starting to choose colleges, and she was asking me about like what the living expenses are in New York City, and I had a chat with her, and at the end of the call, despite my complaining about how people tried to preach to me after my mom died and how much it pissed me off, like her concluding words were, "I hope you find your way back to God." And I think that sentiment offends me, not because they're trying to convert me anymore. It offends me because I feel like they're judging that my current spiritual relationship is not as good and genuine and true as they believe theirs to be. And therein lies the offense. That I feel like they're judging my lifestyle to be somewhat incomplete until I've allowed myself to submit and recognize their exact form of faith. And man, oh man, if God were the same thing, entity, feeling, inspiration, support, and like hold steady for everyone, then I feel like my rice is on fire. Okay. It's definitely smoking. I'm gonna open the window before my smoke alarm goes off. So anyway, why does faith have to look the same to everyone? We are still live. Howdy. It's not that I don't believe in God. You want to see the weird thing? It's still moist on top. It still looks like stew on top. It's just the bottom that's burning. Fascinating. Fascinating. Okay, we're gonna take the bones out, and I'm gonna gnaw on them a little bit. As a treat. Well, that's the last time I cooked brown rice and sorghum together, y'all. That feels like a fail. Maybe if I hadn't mixed it so much, maybe if I hadn't... Hi, Tuna. You've come to look at my disaster? Probably did a lot of things wrong. It's okay.